Have you ever wondered why some people seem to win the lottery over and over again, while you've been playing for years without a single significant win? What if everything you thought you knew about winning the lottery was completely backwards? Stop what you're doing right now, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share something that will fundamentally change your understanding of how lottery winners actually succeed. This isn't just another strategy or system, it's a complete paradigm shift in how reality works. Has this ever happened to you? You carefully select your numbers, perhaps based on birthdays, anniversaries, or what feels like a lucky combination. You purchase your ticket with a mixture of hope and excitement. Then, as the drawing approaches, you find yourself praying, wishing, maybe even bargaining with the universe for a win. And when the numbers are announced, disappointment. Again, you're not alone. Millions of people follow this exact approach, and it's precisely why they never win. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Now, let me tell you about something that lottery companies don't want you to know. There's a man from Ohio who won the lottery 7 times, not once, not twice, but 7 separate occasions. What makes his story truly remarkable isn't just the statistical impossibility of his success, but the fact that lottery organizations actually attempted to ban him from playing. Why would they do this? Because this ordinary man discovered something so powerful, so contrary to conventional wisdom, that it threatened to expose the true mechanics of how manifestation actually works. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share with you isn't based on luck or complex mathematical systems. It's based on decades of research into consciousness, quantum physics, and the hidden laws that govern our reality. The difference between lottery winners and everyone else isn't about lucky numbers or being in the right place at the right time. It's about a fundamental shift in consciousness that Joseph Murphy uncovered after years of studying successful manifestation. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because it contradicts everything most people believe about luck, chance, and probability. This Ohio winner never bought tickets hoping to win. Instead, and this is the crucial distinction worth millions, he purchased tickets knowing he had already won. That single distinction, the difference between hoping and knowing, is the secret that separates occasional winners from those who consistently manifest abundance in their lives. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how this principle works and how you can apply it in your own life. The truth is, the universe isn't some chaotic system where good things randomly happen to fortunate people. It's actually a precisely ordered mechanism that responds to one thing and one thing only: your internal state of consciousness. This revelation has transformed the lives of countless individuals who discovered its power, and it can do the same for you. If you resonated with these manifestation principles, hit subscribe and join our community of conscious creators. I share powerful techniques like this regularly that can transform every area of your life. Your journey of deliberate creation is just beginning. Let's get to the heart of this hidden truth. The fundamental difference between those who consistently win and those who never do isn't about luck or even the specific numbers they choose. It's entirely about their internal state of certainty. The Ohio winner, who claimed 7 jackpots, never once approached the lottery with the mindset of hoping to win. This distinction is crucial to understand. When you hope for something, you're unconsciously affirming its absence in your life. You're declaring to the universe, "I don't have this yet, but I want it." This creates a vibrational frequency of lack that actually pushes your desire further away. It's a mindset trap that keeps millions locked in patterns of disappointment and scarcity. Instead, this remarkable winner operated from an entirely different consciousness, the absolute knowing that he had already won. He didn't question if it would happen, he simply aligned with the reality where it had already occurred. This psychological shift represents a difference worth exactly $47 million in real-world results. That's the measurable impact of this consciousness transformation. Now, I want to go even deeper into this revelation by addressing the most common misconception about lottery winners. Many believe these individuals possess some inherent, special quality or supernatural ability that sets them apart. This belief creates an invisible barrier that prevents ordinary people from achieving the same results. The journey to understanding this principle reveals something profound. Consistent winners aren't gifted with special powers or extraordinary luck. They've simply recognized and applied one fundamental principle about reality that most people overlook. This principle exists behind the scenes of every manifestation, working silently. Whether you're aware of it or not, what's truly remarkable about this discovery is that this principle is accessible to anyone who recognizes and applies it correctly. It doesn't require special talents, years of spiritual training, or even a particularly positive personality. It simply requires a decision to shift your relationship with reality at its most basic level. The transformation begins when you realize that manifestation isn't about manipulating external circumstances, but about aligning your internal state with the version of reality you wish to experience. This is the mindset that separates those who consistently create their desired outcomes from those who remain at the mercy of apparent chance. The universe doesn't distinguish between those who are worthy of receiving and those who aren't. It simply reflects back the vibrational frequency you consistently emit through your thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, your deep-seated beliefs about what's possible for you. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to shift from hoping to knowing," if this perspective is beginning to make sense to you. Your recognition of this principle is the first step toward your own transformation. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but one of the most profound revelations along this journey is that hope, yes, hope itself, is actually the enemy of successful manifestation. This insight challenges everything we've been taught about positive thinking and optimistic attitudes. Society celebrates hopefulness as a virtue. We're told to never lose hope and to keep hoping for the best. But those who have mastered the art of manifestation understand a hidden truth that completely transforms this paradigm. Hope contains within it an inherent doubt and uncertainty that creates a vibrational misalignment with your desires. When you hope for something, you're unconsciously broadcasting to the universe that you don't currently possess it. You're creating an energetic signature of lack rather than abundance. This subtle but powerful mindset creates resistance that blocks the natural flow of manifestation. It's like planting seeds while simultaneously believing the soil might be barren. Your doubt contaminates the very process you're trying to initiate. Joseph Murphy discovered that winning the manifestation game requires a radical shift, abandoning hope entirely in favor of absolute certainty. This doesn't mean becoming delusional or disconnected from your current reality. It means accessing a deeper level of consciousness where you align with the version of reality in which your desire has already manifested. This blueprint for reality creation isn't just some mystical concept. The illumination comes when you discover that these principles have substantial scientific backing from decades of research across diverse scientific disciplines. Behind the scenes, neuroscientists, quantum physicists, and consciousness researchers have all contributed evidence that supports these manifestation principles. Neuroscience has shown us that the brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. Both create the same neural pathways and emotional responses. Quantum physics has revealed that particles exist in states of potential until observed, suggesting that consciousness plays a fundamental role in determining reality. And consciousness studies have documented countless cases where internal states directly influence external outcomes in ways that defy conventional explanation. This convergence of scientific evidence provides a credible foundation for what might otherwise be dismissed as magical thinking. The revolution in understanding comes when you realize that manifestation isn't about wishful thinking. It's about working with the fundamental nature of reality as revealed by cutting-edge science. The breakthrough occurs when you understand that your consciousness isn't just passively observing reality, it's actively participating in creating it. Every thought, every emotion, every deeply held belief is sending ripples of influence through the quantum field, attracting resonant experiences and repelling dissonant ones. This revelation doesn't just apply to lottery wins. It extends to every aspect of your life journey, relationships, health, career opportunities, and beyond. The universe doesn't categorize your desires as realistic or unrealistic. It simply responds to the vibrational frequency you consistently maintain. If this perspective is illuminating something within you, write in the comments, "Certainty creates reality," and let me know if you're beginning to see how this applies to your own life. Let me share another paradigm-shifting insight that completely transforms how we understand success and achievement. What most people casually dismiss as luck or random chance is actually governed by precise, underlying laws. This revelation undermines the entire framework most people use to explain why good things happen to some people but not others. The universe isn't a chaotic system randomly distributing good fortune to a lucky few. It's an intricately ordered mechanism that responds with mathematical precision to specific inputs. Once you understand this fundamental principle, you'll never again use words like lucky or fortunate to explain someone's success. You'll recognize the invisible architecture supporting every manifestation. This awakening to the ordered nature of reality allows you to work consciously with these universal laws, rather than leaving your outcomes to what you incorrectly perceive as chance. It's like discovering that you've been playing a game without understanding the rules. No wonder the results seemed random and unpredictable. For those who felt that inner recognition while watching this video, subscribe now to continue exploring these universal principles with me. Every video builds upon these foundational concepts, giving you powerful tools to reshape your reality through consciousness. The catalyst for true abundance comes when you recognize that behind every lucky lottery win is a person who, consciously or unconsciously, aligned with these precise laws. They didn't beat the odds. They worked with the underlying mechanics of reality creation that most never discover. Going even deeper into this revelation, we uncover another layer of this hidden truth. Reality itself functions as a sophisticated feedback mechanism that constantly responds to one primary input, your internal state of being. This mirror-like quality of the universe is perhaps its most misunderstood yet powerful attribute. The breakthrough moment in your journey occurs when you fully grasp that the universe doesn't operate independently of your consciousness. It's not an external system you need to manipulate or convince. Instead, it faithfully mirrors back precisely what you project through your thoughts, feelings, and most importantly, your deep-seated beliefs about what's possible for you. This responsive mechanism explains why lottery winners consistently share certain mental patterns. They aren't experiencing random good fortune. They're receiving the natural reflection of their internal state of certainty. The external manifestation is merely the echo of their internal conviction. When you observe this pattern across thousands of success stories, the evidence becomes undeniable. People who maintain an unwavering certainty about their desired outcome consistently manifest experiences that match that certainty. It's not coincidence, it's causation. The illumination comes when you recognize that every experience you're having right now, every challenge, every opportunity, every relationship dynamic is providing you with precise feedback about your predominant internal state. Nothing is random. Nothing is happening to you. Everything is responding to you. This understanding gives you unprecedented sovereignty over your life experience. You're not a victim of circumstance, but a conscious creator working with the most powerful force in existence, the responsive nature of reality itself. If this perspective is opening new doorways of understanding for you, drop in the comments. I create my reality, and share one area of your life where you're ready to apply this principle of conscious creation. Now let me share an insight that completely transforms how we understand luck in the lottery. Here's the revelation that changed everything for me. Every single person who has ever won a significant lottery prize was unknowingly utilizing these manifestation principles, whether they realized it or not. This hidden pattern becomes obvious once you know what to look for. When you interview lottery winners, you'll discover a fascinating commonality. Almost all of them describe having an unusual sense of certainty before their win. Statements like, "I just knew it was going to happen," or "something told me to buy that ticket," appear with remarkable consistency across thousands of winner stories. The watershed moment in your understanding comes when you recognize the difference between occasional winners and those who create consistent, repeatable success. It's not about random luck or statistical anomalies. It's about the conscious, deliberate application of these universal laws rather than stumbling upon them accidentally. Most people experience brief, random alignments with these principles, moments when their doubt temporarily subsides and they inadvertently allow manifestation to occur. But without understanding the mechanics at work, they can't replicate their success. It remains a mysterious one-time event rather than a reliable process. The breakthrough in your manifestation journey happens when you transition from unconscious, intermittent alignment to conscious, consistent application. This transformation puts the power of creation firmly in your hands rather than leaving it to apparent chance. Let's examine why the conventional approach to playing the lottery is completely backwards and why it almost guarantees failure. The traditional method involves selecting numbers, purchasing a ticket, and then hoping external forces will somehow align in your favor. This passive strategy puts all the power outside yourself, turning you into a helpless spectator in your own life. This backwards approach explains why the vast majority of players never experience significant wins. They're operating from a fundamentally flawed understanding of how manifestation actually works. They believe the winning numbers are chosen first, and then they must match them. But this sequence has the causality reversed. Joseph Murphy's revolutionary insight inverts this entire process. He discovered that the external world doesn't determine your experience. It responds to your internal state. The winning numbers don't choose you. Your consciousness chooses the winning numbers through its alignment with the reality where you've already won. This paradigm shift represents a complete reversal of how most people approach not just the lottery, but all forms of achievement and success. Rather than adapting yourself to external conditions, you learn to generate the internal state that naturally attracts your desired outcome. The liberation in this understanding is profound. You're no longer at the mercy of external forces. You're not waiting for luck to smile upon you or for statistical probability to finally work in your favor. You're actively creating your experience through the most powerful force in existence, your own consciousness. This mindset revolution doesn't just apply to lottery wins, but extends to every area of life where you're seeking a specific outcome. It's the master key that unlocks the door to deliberate creation in all its forms. Drop in the comments, "I'm flipping the script," if you're ready to reverse this backwards approach and start creating from the inside out rather than waiting for external circumstances to change. Here's where we arrive at perhaps the most revolutionary revelation in this entire process. A perspective shift so profound, it completely transforms how you understand reality itself. The startling truth about lottery success is that you've already won in the consciousness state where you know yourself as the winner. This isn't just a motivational metaphor or visualization technique. It reflects the actual mechanics of how manifestation operates at the quantum level. Most approaches to manifestation position it as a process of making something happen in the future. But Joseph Murphy's breakthrough insight reveals that your task isn't to create a new reality. It's to align with the version of reality where your win has already occurred. This subtle but critical distinction changes everything about how you approach the manifestation process. In the infinite field of possibilities, there already exists a version of reality where you've won the exact lottery amount you desire. That reality isn't potential or hypothetical. It's as real and concrete as the chair you're sitting in right now. Your journey isn't about forcing something new into existence, but about shifting your consciousness to align with this pre-existing reality. This alignment process is what the Ohio winner mastered. He didn't see himself as someone trying to win. He recognized himself as someone who had already won and was simply going through the necessary steps to claim his prize. This sovereignty over your conscious state is the master key to deliberate creation. Now, I want to share an even deeper truth that forms the foundation of this entire blueprint for reality creation. Everything you experience as real is actually a projection of consciousness. Your bank account balance, your relationships, your physical health, your material circumstances, all of these are simply shadows cast by the light of your own conscious and subconscious mind. This isn't philosophical speculation, but reflects the findings of quantum physics, which has demonstrated that physical reality doesn't exist in a definite state until it's observed by consciousness. The revelation here is that the world isn't happening to you. It's happening from you, projecting outward from your inner state, like a movie projecting onto a screen. This understanding places tremendous power in your hands by illuminating the truth that changes in consciousness must precede changes in external circumstances. Your outer world will always organize itself to reflect your inner world with perfect precision. This is why trying to change circumstances without first changing consciousness is a formula for frustration and failure. When you deeply internalize this principle, you stop wasting energy trying to manipulate external conditions directly. Instead, you focus on generating the internal state that naturally magnetizes your desired experiences to you. This inside-out approach to transformation is what distinguishes those who create consistent success from those caught in cycles of struggle and disappointment. The breakthrough moment occurs when you realize that your consciousness isn't just one factor influencing your reality. It's the only factor that matters. Everything else, every strategy, technique, or external action, is secondary to this fundamental truth. When your consciousness is aligned with wealth and abundance, the universe has no choice but to reflect that alignment back to you through seemingly lucky circumstances. If this perspective is awakening something profound within you, write in the comments, "Consciousness creates reality," and share one insight from this video that has shifted your understanding the most. Let me share with you some of the most powerful evidence that proves these principles aren't just theoretical, but produce tangible results in the real world. I've personally witnessed countless individuals transform their financial circumstances overnight, not through external manipulation of circumstances, but through a fundamental shift in their state of consciousness. These transformations aren't gradual improvements that happen over years. They're radical reinventions that seem to defy conventional understanding of how wealth is created. People who were struggling to pay rent suddenly receiving unexpected windfalls. Individuals drowning in debt discovering surprising pathways to abundance that weren't visible to them before. The catalyst in each of these journeys wasn't finding a better strategy or working harder. It was changing their inner relationship with wealth, shifting from identifying with lack to embodying abundance at the core level of their being. This internal realignment creates a vibrational resonance that allows money to flow toward them through channels that appear lucky or fortunate to outside observers. I've documented case after case where this inner transformation preceded external change with such precision that the connection becomes undeniable. The revelation wasn't just that circumstances changed, but that they changed in exact proportion to the individual's shift in consciousness. This precise correlation reveals the causal relationship between internal state and external reality. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing a critical misunderstanding that blocks most people from successful manifestation. Here's the illumination that changes everything. The universe responds not to what you want, but to what you are, your predominant state of being. This explains one of the most frustrating paradoxes in manifestation work. The more desperately you want something, the more elusive it becomes. This isn't because the universe is cruel or because you're doing something wrong. It's because wanting something inherently broadcasts the frequency of not having it. Your desire itself contains the vibration of absence. This insight reveals why wanting to win the lottery actually reinforces your experience of lack. Each time you affirm how much you want to win, you're unconsciously declaring your separation from that experience. You're energetically cementing your identity as someone who doesn't have what they desire. The breakthrough comes when you realize that being a winner in consciousness naturally attracts the external manifestation of that internal state. When you shift your identity from someone who wants to win to someone who has already won, the universe has no choice but to reorganize physical reality to match this new vibrational signature. This is why Joseph Murphy emphasized the importance of living from, rather than living for, your desired state. Living for a lottery win keeps it perpetually in the future. Living from the state of having already won brings it into your present experience through the path of least resistance. This perspective revolutionizes your understanding of attraction and manifestation. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Your circumstances aren't responding to your wishes or desires, but to your state of being. This explains why two people can use identical manifestation techniques with completely different results. The technique isn't what creates the outcome. It's the state of consciousness from which the technique is applied. If this distinction between wanting and being is creating an aha moment for you, write in the comments, "I attract what I am," and share how this perspective changes your approach to manifestation. Let me share a real-world example that demonstrates the power of these principles in action. Margaret's story perfectly illustrates what happens when someone finally aligns with the correct approach to manifestation. She was a single mother working multiple jobs just to keep a roof over her children's heads. Like many people, she had tried countless manifestation techniques, positive thinking, affirmations, visualization, but nothing seemed to work for her. What makes Margaret's journey so powerful is that it mirrors what many of us experience. She was doing everything the self-help books told her to do. She maintained a positive attitude despite her circumstances. She created vision boards with images of the life she wanted. She recited affirmations morning and night, yet her external reality remained stubbornly unchanged. The turning point came when she discovered Joseph Murphy's method. The difference was immediate and profound. Rather than trying to convince herself that things would get better someday, she began living from the consciousness of already being wealthy. She didn't change her external actions dramatically. She still went to work and took care of her responsibilities, but her inner relationship with wealth underwent a complete transformation. Within just 3 weeks of applying this approach correctly, Margaret won $2.7 million in the lottery. But here's what's truly revealing about her story. When she called to share the news, she wasn't jumping up and down in shocked disbelief. Instead, she described feeling a deep sense of calm recognition, as if the universe had simply caught up with what she had already become in consciousness. In her words, "This just feels like the natural next step. I've been living as a millionaire in my mind for weeks." This response illuminates the profound difference between Murphy's approach and conventional manifestation techniques. Margaret wasn't surprised by her windfall because in her internal reality she was already wealthy. The lottery win was merely the external world reorganizing itself to match her inner state. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding why traditional manifestation methods so often fail despite their popularity. This revelation completely transformed my approach to the manifestation process. Positive thinking, vision boards, and affirmations typically fail because they address only the surface level of consciousness, your conscious mind, while true manifestation occurs at the deeper subconscious level where core beliefs about identity reside. Your conscious mind represents only about 5% of your total consciousness. It's the part of you that can analyze, criticize, and evaluate information. The problem is that this analytical faculty often rejects new ideas that contradict your existing beliefs, especially about who you are and what's possible for you. When you consciously affirm, "I am wealthy," while your subconscious identity is still, "I am struggling," this contradiction creates internal resistance that blocks manifestation. The genius of Murphy's technique lies in its ability to bypass this conscious resistance and directly impress the subconscious with a new self-concept. By working with the twilight state between wakefulness and sleep, when the critical faculty is temporarily suspended, you can plant new identity beliefs directly into the fertile soil of your subconscious without triggering resistance. This understanding revolutionizes the entire manifestation journey by shifting the focus from what you're doing to who you're being at the deepest level. The breakthrough comes when you recognize that the subconscious doesn't differentiate between what's vividly imagined and what's physically experienced. It accepts whatever you impress upon it with emotional intensity and sensory richness. If this distinction between conscious and subconscious manifestation resonates with you, type in the comments, "Subconscious is the key," and share which manifestation techniques you've tried before without lasting success. This journey of manifestation requires something far more profound than simply adopting new techniques or strategies. Here's the awakening that truly transforms your results. Applying this method effectively necessitates a complete transformation of identity at the deepest level. Your old self-concept, how you've defined yourself in relation to money, success, and possibility, must give way to a new identity that resonates with the reality you wish to experience. This identity shift isn't superficial role-playing or fake it till you make it. Those approaches keep you trapped in duality, constantly aware of the gap between who you're pretending to be and who you believe you really are. What Joseph Murphy discovered is that true Transformation happens when you fundamentally reimagine who you are at the core level of being, when you fully embody a new self-concept without internal contradiction or resistance. The challenge most people face is that their identity, their sense of self, feels fixed and immutable. They might say, "This is just who I am," not realizing that this self-definition is simply a collection of past impressions and experiences that have been accepted by the subconscious mind. Your identity isn't fixed at all. It's fluid and responsive to new impressions when they're delivered with sufficient emotional intensity and repetition. The revelation comes when you understand that identity precedes experience. Most people believe the opposite, that your experiences shape your identity. But the deeper truth is that your identity creates a vibrational field that selectively attracts experiences that confirm and reinforce who you believe yourself to be. This is why identity transformation must precede any substantial change in your external circumstances. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding the metaphysical mechanics behind lottery manifestation. This perspective completely revolutionizes how you approach the entire process. Every lottery drawing that will ever occur already exists within the infinite field of possibilities that quantum physicists call the probability wave function. The winning combinations aren't created in the moment of drawing, but are selected from pre-existing potential outcomes that exist simultaneously in what we might call possibility space. This insight transforms your entire approach to manifestation. Your task isn't to influence which numbers will be drawn through some form of mind-over-matter psychic influence. That's a fundamental misunderstanding that leads to frustration and failure. Your actual task is to determine which version of yourself, across the infinite versions that exist in parallel realities, will be present to claim the winning numbers. It's like tuning a radio to a specific frequency. The music isn't created by the act of turning the dial. All the stations are broadcasting simultaneously. Your consciousness is the dial that determines which broadcast you experience. When you shift your identity to that of someone who has already won the lottery, you're effectively tuning your consciousness to the frequency where that outcome exists. This understanding releases you from the burden of trying to make something happen through force or will. Instead, you focus on the much more natural process of becoming the version of yourself who resonates with your desired experience. The universe then automatically reorganizes around this new frequency, bringing you into alignment with the reality where your lottery win has already occurred. This perspective reverses the entire manifestation equation. Instead of asking, "How can I win the lottery?" you ask, "Who must I become to naturally align with the version of reality where I have already won?" This shift from doing to being is the master key that unlocks the door to seemingly miraculous manifestations. If this perspective on parallel possibilities and identity shifting resonates with you, write in the comments, "I'm choosing my reality," and share which version of yourself you're now ready to embody. Now let me share with you the specific technique that Joseph Murphy discovered for accessing the quantum field of infinite possibilities. This approach is so powerful because it leverages a natural phenomenon that we all experience every single day. The transition period between wakefulness and sleep, that drowsy twilight state when your conscious mind begins to quiet, provides unique access to the subconscious mind that isn't available during normal waking consciousness. Neuroscience has confirmed that during this liminal state, your brainwaves shift from beta to alpha and then theta frequencies. This shift temporarily suspends the critical faculty of your conscious mind, the analytical part of you that would normally reject new suggestions that contradict your existing beliefs about what's possible. It's like the gateway between your conscious and subconscious mind is momentarily left unguarded, allowing new impressions to enter directly. By using this natural window of opportunity to impress your subconscious with the assumption of your lottery win, you bypass the logical objections that would otherwise block the manifestation process. Your rational mind might argue, the odds are against me, or that's statistically unlikely, but in this twilight state, these objections are temporarily silenced, allowing your new assumption to take root in fertile soil. This revelation transforms your nightly routine from a mere resting period into a powerful manifestation ritual. Those few minutes before you drift off to sleep become your most potent opportunity for consciousness transformation and reality creation. The breakthroughs I've witnessed in people's manifestation journey almost always correspond with their mastery of this nighttime technique. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding the most crucial element of this entire process, the distinction between assumption and hope. This subtle but profound difference represents the dividing line between those who create extraordinary results and those who remain trapped in cycles of disappointment. The technique requires assuming, not hoping, wishing, or trying, that you've already won the lottery. Hope contains within it the vibration of absence and uncertainty. When you hope for something, you're unconsciously affirming that you don't currently have it and aren't certain you'll get it. This creates an energetic contradiction that blocks successful manifestation. Assumption, by contrast, carries the vibration of present possession and certainty. When you assume something, you take it for granted as an established fact that requires no proof or validation. This distinction may seem semantic, but it represents the fundamental difference between manifestation and mere daydreaming. Your assumption must be held as an unquestionable reality rather than a mere possibility or probability. This doesn't mean you need to convince yourself through logical arguments or evidence. It's more about surrendering to the feeling state of the wish fulfilled with such completeness that questioning its reality never even occurs to you. This perspective shift moves you beyond the realm of positive thinking into what might be called identity-based manifestation. You're not trying to think better thoughts about winning the lottery. You're embodying the identity of someone who has already won. This embodiment happens at such a deep level that your nervous system can't distinguish between this vividly imagined state and physical reality. If this distinction between hoping and assuming is creating a paradigm shift for you, write in the comments, "Assumption is the key," and share one area where you've been hoping rather than assuming your desired outcome. Let me share a crucial insight that transforms passive visualization into active reality creation. Most people approach manifestation intellectually, thinking that simply understanding or accepting an idea is sufficient. But here's the revelation that changes everything. Successful manifestation requires more than mental acknowledgement of the concept that you've won. You must generate the actual, emotional and sensory experience of being in possession of your winnings. This is where the true mastery of reality creation begins. Your nervous system, the bridge between your consciousness and physical reality, doesn't distinguish between what's vividly imagined with emotional intensity and what's physically experienced. When you create an internal experience so rich in detail and emotional texture that it feels absolutely real, your subconscious mind accepts it as a present fact rather than a future possibility. The transformative journey happens when you immerse yourself so completely in the feeling of having already won that your body begins responding as if the win has actually occurred. Your heartbeat quickens. You feel the rush of excitement, the profound sense of relief, the expanding sensation of freedom, all the emotional signatures of a genuine lottery win. This sensory-rich immersion creates what neuroscientists call a somatic marker, a bodily state associated with a particular experience. When this marker becomes strong enough, it sends a powerful signal to the quantum field, collapsing the wave function of possibilities into the specific reality that matches your internal state. The revelation here is that manifestation isn't a mental exercise, but a full-body, full-being experience. The more completely you can inhabit the reality of your win at the sensory and emotional level, the more rapidly that reality will materialize in your physical experience. Now, we want to go even deeper into the remarkable precision of this manifestation process. One of the most fascinating aspects of reality creation is that the specific amount you assume you've won becomes the exact amount you receive. This isn't approximation or coincidence. It's mathematical precision that reveals the exact correspondence between internal assumption and external manifestation. I've documented numerous cases where individuals who assumed they'd won $2.7 million manifested exactly $2.7 million, not 2.6 or $2.8 million. This precision underscores the importance of clarity and specificity in your assumption practice. The quantum field doesn't respond to vague notions like a lot of money or enough to be comfortable. It mirrors back precisely what you've impressed upon your subconscious. This understanding revolutionizes how you approach the manifestation process. Rather than being casual or approximate about what you're creating, you recognize that every detail of your assumption becomes encoded in the final manifestation. Vague assumptions produce vague results, while precise, detailed assumptions yield precise, detailed manifestations. This precision extends beyond just the amount, the timeline, the circumstances, even the specific lottery through which you receive your winnings. All these elements correspond exactly to the specificity of your assumption. Nothing is random or approximate in this process. Everything unfolds with mathematical precision. According to the blueprint you've established in consciousness, the breakthrough insight is that you're not just influencing your reality in general terms, you're programming it with exact specifications. Your consciousness isn't just creating a general outcome, it's determining every detail of how that outcome will manifest. If this level of precise manifestation resonates with you, write in the comments, "Precision is power," and share what specific amount you're now assuming you've already. 1. Let's explore a critical insight about how your mind actually processes information, something that completely transforms how you approach this manifestation technique. Here's the revelation. Your subconscious mind doesn't understand or respond to abstract concepts or vague generalizations. It operates exclusively through concrete, sensory-rich images that feel real and immediate. This explains why affirmations like "I am wealthy" or "I have financial freedom" often fail to produce tangible results. These phrases are too abstract and conceptual to create a clear template for manifestation. Your subconscious needs specific images with sensory detail. What exactly does your wealth look like? How does it feel to have this specific amount of money? What are you doing with it? Who are you with? What sensations are present in your body? The illumination comes when you realize that effective assumption practice requires building detailed scenes that provide your subconscious with exact blueprints for manifestation. When you create a scene rich in sensory detail, the weight of your bank statement in your hands, the specific number you see on your account balance, the texture of the chair you're sitting in as you make a large transfer, the exact words the bank manager says to you, you're giving your subconscious the precise coordinates for the reality you wish to experience. This understanding transforms vague visualizations into powerful manifestation templates. Rather than floating in abstract concepts of abundance, you're anchoring your consciousness in the specific reality you wish to inhabit. This precision eliminates the ambiguity that often dilutes manifestation power and creates a clear channel for the universe to deliver your exact desired outcome. Now, I want to go even deeper into Joseph Murphy's most powerful discovery, what I call the 1000x multiplication technique. Most practitioners dramatically dilute their manifestation power by approaching the technique incorrectly. They visualize sporadically without emotional intensity, or they constantly shift between different desired outcomes, creating confusion in the subconscious. Murphy's revolutionary insight was that manifestation effectiveness can be multiplied by 1000 times through proper scene construction and consistent immersion in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This multiplication happens when three critical elements converge: sensory vividness, emotional intensity, and repetitive impression during receptive states. The breakthrough happens when you construct a single, specific scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire, and then repeat that identical scene with unwavering consistency during the twilight state between wakefulness and sleep. This repetition impresses the scene so deeply into your subconscious that it begins to feel more real than your current circumstances. What makes this approach so powerful is that it creates a singular focus rather than scattered attention. Instead of jumping between different visualizations or affirmations, you're driving all your manifestation energy into one precisely constructed scene. This concentrated focus creates momentum in the quantum field that accelerates the manifestation process exponentially. The transformation occurs when this scene becomes your dominant thought, the mental equivalent that your subconscious accepts as your new reality. When this internal shift reaches critical mass, the external world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your new dominant vibration. If this approach to scene construction resonates with you, type in the comments, "Focus creates reality," and share what specific scene you'll be using to impress your lottery win upon your subconscious mind. Let me share with you a crucial insight about scene construction that transforms ordinary visualization into powerful manifestation. Most people make a fundamental mistake when trying to manifest a lottery win. They focus on the process rather than the completed state. They visualize themselves buying tickets, selecting numbers, or watching the drawing. But here's the revelation. The most effective scene for lottery manifestation occurs after the win has been claimed and the money is already in your account. This distinction completely revolutionizes your approach. Rather than focusing on how the win will happen, you construct a scene that presupposes the completion of these events and immerses you in what life is like as a lottery winner. This bypasses the logical mind's objections about probability and process, allowing your subconscious to accept the end state without resistance. The breakthrough occurs when you realize that time is actually simultaneous in consciousness. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between past, present, and future. It only knows what you impress upon it with conviction and emotional intensity. By constructing a scene that places you beyond the moment of winning, you create a psychological bridge that your consciousness naturally follows into manifestation. This shift in perspective allows you to bypass the mental barriers that often block lottery manifestation, the statistical improbability, the uncertainty about which numbers to choose, the anxiety about whether you'll win. Instead, you live from the accomplished fact, allowing your subconscious to orchestrate the perfect path to its fulfillment. Now, I want to go even deeper into the architecture of effective scene construction by sharing what I've found to be the most powerful manifestation template, what I call the bank scene technique. This approach has produced remarkable results for countless individuals because it embeds the reality of wealth at multiple levels of consciousness simultaneously. A particularly effective scene involves visiting your bank as a wealthy person, perhaps to transfer a significant sum to charity or make an investment. In this scene, you're not applying for a loan or checking your balance anxiously. You're there as someone for whom wealth is an established fact, so established that you're now in a position to share it generously. The true power of this scene lies in the subtle details, like the respectful tone of the bank manager asking which of your accounts you'd like to use for the transaction. Perhaps they're asking if you want to transfer from your main account or one of your investment accounts. This seemingly small detail carries enormous manifestation power because it implies not just wealth, but established ongoing abundance that's recognized by others. These nuanced elements embed the reality of wealth deeply in your subconscious, creating a powerful template that your manifestation naturally follows. Your subconscious doesn't just register that you have money, it registers that you have multiple accounts, that you're treated with respect due to your financial status, that wealth management is a normal part of your life experience. What makes this approach so transformative is that it circumvents the common obstacles to manifestation: doubt, uncertainty, and questioning how the manifestation will occur. By placing yourself beyond these questions in a scene where the manifestation is already complete, you allow your subconscious to work backwards from the accomplished fact, to create the perfect bridge of incidents leading to your lottery win. If this approach to scene construction is creating a paradigm shift in your understanding, write in the comments "Beyond the Win" and share which specific after the win scene resonates most powerfully with you. Let me share another powerful scene construction technique that taps into both emotional fulfillment and wealth consciousness simultaneously. While the bank scene works wonderfully, many people find even greater manifestation power through what I call the family call visualization. This approach creates a particularly potent subconscious impression because it combines the reality of wealth with deep emotional satisfaction. This scene involves calling a family member, perhaps a parent, sibling, or someone you deeply care about, to tell them you're buying them a house. The critical element that makes this scene so effective is that you're not presenting this as some grandiose, once-in-a-lifetime gesture. Instead, it's offered as a casual expression of your abundant state, almost as an afterthought. "Oh, by the way, I found the perfect house for you and I've already taken care of it." The brilliance of this approach is that it embeds multiple layers of reality simultaneously. It implies not just that you've won, but that enough time has passed for the win to feel normal to you. It establishes that you have substantial wealth, enough to purchase property without financial strain. And most powerfully, it creates an emotional connection to your manifestation, giving your subconscious a compelling reason to bring this reality into existence. When you construct this scene, focus on the genuine joy and gratitude in the family member's voice, the ease with which you make the offer, and the natural feeling that this is simply what wealthy people do for those they love. These emotional signatures create powerful anchors in your subconscious that accelerate the manifestation process. Now, I want to go even deeper into the architecture of effective scene construction by revealing the 3 essential elements that must be present. For maximum effectiveness, understanding these core principles elevates your visualization from mere daydreaming to powerful reality creation. First, your scene must embody brevity and simplicity. Many people dilute their manifestation power by creating elaborate, complex scenarios that overwhelm the subconscious. The most effective scene is short and specific, a single moment that can be mentally replayed in 30 to 60 seconds. This focused simplicity allows for deeper impression through repetition, creating a singular point of concentrated manifestation energy. Second, your scene must imply the passage of time since the win. This crucial element prevents logical objections from your conscious mind about timing and process. Rather than focusing on the moment of winning, which can trigger doubt about probability, you position yourself in a future where the win is established history. This temporal displacement bypasses resistance and allows for complete acceptance. Third, you must experience the scene in first-person sensory richness. Many people visualize themselves from the outside, watching themselves like actors in a movie. This creates a fatal disconnect that blocks manifestation. Effective visualization happens from inside your own body, seeing through your own eyes, hearing through your own ears, feeling through your own skin. This embodied perspective convinces your nervous system that the experience is genuinely real. These three elements work together to create a psychological environment where your subconscious accepts your desired reality without resistance. The brevity makes repetition practical, the implied passage of time neutralizes doubt, and the first-person perspective creates the sensory conviction necessary for manifestation. If these three elements are clarifying your visualization practice, write in the comments, "I'm seeing through my own eyes," and share which element you need to strengthen in your current practice. Now I want to reveal the most common failure point that prevents people from succeeding with this technique. This critical insight explains why many people can visualize correctly yet still fail to manifest their desires. Here's the revelation. Most practitioners correctly visualize their scene during their dedicated practice time, but then immediately return to their previous state of consciousness, wanting, hoping, and trying to manifest. This oscillation creates a contradictory vibration that neutralizes their manifestation power. Joseph Murphy discovered that true success requires not just visualizing during dedicated sessions, but maintaining the state of fulfillment throughout your daily life. This means making decisions and responding emotionally as if you are already the wealthy person you've visualized. This continuous embodiment is what distinguishes those who create extraordinary results from those who remain trapped in cycles of frustration. The breakthrough moment comes when you understand that manifestation isn't something you do at specific times. It's a state you live from continuously. Rather than living for the wish fulfilled, working towards it as a future goal, you live from the wish fulfilled, operating as if it's already your present reality, regardless of what your physical senses report. This sustained embodiment creates a consistent vibrational signature that the universe can respond to without contradiction. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you constantly switch between frequencies, you'll never receive a clear signal. But when you lock into one frequency and stay there, the broadcast comes through with perfect clarity. The transformation in your results occurs when you stop treating your visualization as a manifestation technique and start treating it as an entrance into a new state of being that you maintain throughout your waking hours. Your scene becomes not just something you imagine, but a doorway into a new identity that you step through and remain within. Now, I want to go even deeper into how this principle applies to your everyday life. When you encounter financial decisions or challenges throughout your day, you must handle them from the perspective of someone with unlimited resources. This isn't pretense or self-deception, but alignment with the version of yourself who has already won the lottery. For example, when you receive a bill, rather than responding with anxiety or limitation, you respond with the calm certainty of someone for whom money is abundant. You don't worry about how you'll pay it. You simply pay it with gratitude for the service received, knowing that your resources are more than sufficient. When you see something you'd like to purchase, you don't engage in the inner dialogue of lack, "I can't afford that," or "maybe someday." Instead, you either purchase it with the easy confidence of someone with abundant resources, or you choose not to purchase it because it doesn't align with your values or priorities. Not because of financial limitation. Your consistent internal stance creates the energetic bridge that connects your current circumstances to your desired reality. Each decision you make from abundance consciousness reinforces your new identity, creating momentum that accelerates the manifestation process. This journey of transformation isn't just about changing your external circumstances, it's about becoming a different version of yourself at the deepest level. Share in the comments. I live from abundance, not for it. If you're ready to maintain this state of fulfilled consciousness throughout your daily life, rather than just during visualization sessions, let me share a perspective that completely transforms how you understand the manifestation process. Many people struggle with manifestation because they believe they need to create something entirely new from scratch. But here's the revelation that changes everything. The version of you who has already won the lottery exists right now, in a parallel reality. This understanding isn't just metaphorical, it reflects quantum physics' multiple worlds interpretation, where all possibilities exist simultaneously across an infinite array of parallel dimensions. This insight revolutionizes your entire approach to manifestation. Your practice isn't about forcing something new into existence through sheer willpower or struggle. It's about the much more natural process of aligning your consciousness with that existing version of yourself, who has already experienced the lottery win. You're not creating a new reality, you're tuning into one that already exists. This understanding removes the struggle from manifestation and transforms it into a simple choice of which self to embody. Rather than pushing against resistance, you're flowing into alignment with your desired experience. This perspective shift creates a profound sense of ease in the manifestation process. You're not making something happen. You're allowing yourself to become the person who has already experienced it. The journey becomes one of identity shifting rather than external manipulation. You're not changing circumstances, you're changing which version of yourself you're identifying with across the vast field of quantum possibilities. This alignment process happens through consistent assumption of the state of wish fulfilled until it becomes your predominant consciousness. Now, I want to go even deeper into this concept by sharing Susan's remarkable journey, a perfect illustration of how these principles unfold in real-world application. Susan's story demonstrates the progressive nature of manifestation when these techniques are applied with consistency and conviction. Susan applied these principles so effectively that she began winning smaller lottery prizes almost immediately after starting the practice. It was as if the universe was preparing her for a major windfall, gradually expanding her capacity to receive. These incremental successes started with a $10,000 win, followed by $25,000, then $100,000, each victory reinforcing her wealthy self-concept and building momentum toward her ultimate manifestation. What makes Susan's journey so instructive is that each progressive win strengthened her belief in the process, creating an upward spiral of expectation and fulfillment. Each success made the next one feel more natural and inevitable. She didn't question or analyze these coincidences. She simply accepted them as the natural unfolding of her transformed consciousness. The culmination of this progressive pattern came when Susan claimed a $15 million prize just 8 months after beginning the practice. But the most revealing aspect wasn't the win itself, but her response to it. She described feeling completely unsurprised, as if this outcome was the most natural thing in the world, given the person she had become in consciousness. This progressive pattern of manifestation reveals an important principle about how reality reorganizes itself in response to your shifted identity. The universe often delivers your desire through a series of expanding experiences rather than one massive quantum leap. This allows your consciousness to adjust gradually to your new state of being, preventing the resistance that might arise from too dramatic a change. Susan's journey illuminates the pathway of transformation that many experience when applying these principles correctly. The breakthrough occurs not as a single moment, but as a progressive unfolding that builds upon itself with increasing momentum and magnitude. If this concept of progressive manifestation resonates with you, write in the comments. I'm open to receiving at all levels, and share whether you've already experienced any initial evidence that your manifestation journey has begun. One of the most liberating aspects of Susan's story was how she integrated this manifestation practice into her everyday life. Many people assume that embodying wealth consciousness requires making dramatic external changes, quitting their job, spending lavishly, or otherwise acting as if they've already received their windfall in visible ways. But Susan's journey reveals a much more practical and powerful truth. Susan continued her normal external activities, working her job and paying bills, while maintaining the internal state of a millionaire, temporarily playing the role of someone with limited funds. This seemingly subtle distinction creates a profound shift in your manifestation journey. You don't need to make reckless financial decisions or create external chaos. The transformation happens primarily in your internal relationship with wealth. Susan described this experience as similar to an actor playing a part. She knew her true identity as a wealthy person while temporarily performing the role of someone with ordinary means. This perspective allowed her to fulfill her responsibilities without resistance or resentment, knowing that her current circumstances were simply the final scenes of her old reality before the full manifestation of her new state. This insight liberates you from the pressure to make premature external changes that might create resistance or backlash in your life. The revolution happens first in consciousness, with external circumstances naturally reorganizing themselves to match your new vibration at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding the mechanism by which your internal shift creates external change. When you successfully assume the state of wish fulfilled, you set in motion what Joseph Murphy calls the bridge of incidents, the series of events that must occur for your assumption to manifest physically in your experience. This bridge of incidents unfolds automatically once your consciousness shift has reached critical mass. You don't need to plan it, engineer it, or figure out how it will happen. Your only responsibility is maintaining the state of wish fulfilled. The how is handled by the infinite intelligence of the universe, responding to your new vibrational signature. What makes this concept so fascinating is that these events often appear in your life as coincidences, strokes of luck, or unexpected opportunities. You might feel a sudden impulse to visit a store you don't normally frequent, only to purchase the winning ticket there. You might dream of certain numbers that later prove significant. You might encounter a stranger who shares information that leads you to your win. These seemingly random occurrences aren't random at all. They're the natural unfolding of your transformed consciousness, drawing the necessary circumstances to you. This understanding transforms your relationship with coincidence and synchronicity. You begin to recognize these events not as random good fortune, but as the physical manifestation of your internal shift, the universe reorganizing itself to match your new dominant vibration. The revelation comes when you understand that this bridge of incidents is uniquely designed for you. The path that leads Susan to her lottery win will be different from the path that leads you to yours. The universe isn't limited to a single method of delivery. It uses the path of least resistance based on your unique circumstances, beliefs, and energetic configuration. Your journey across this bridge becomes a fascinating adventure of watching how your internal shift creates ripples of change in your external world. Each synchronicity, each lucky break, each unexpected turn of events becomes confirmation that your manifestation is unfolding precisely as it should. If this concept of the bridge of incidents resonates with you, write in the comments, "I trust the process," and share any synchronicities you've already noticed appearing in your life as you've been listening to this explanation. As your assumption begins taking root in your subconscious mind, something remarkable starts happening in your everyday experience. You'll begin receiving specific impulses and intuitions that seem to come from nowhere, but are actually your deeper self orchestrating the perfect fulfillment of your desire. These intuitive nudges might manifest as feeling inexplicably compelled to buy a lottery ticket at a particular store you don't normally visit. You might dream about certain numbers with unusual clarity and emotional significance. Or you might overhear seemingly random conversations that provide unexpected guidance about when or how to play. The awakening comes when you recognize that these aren't random coincidences, but your subconscious mind, which has access to information beyond your conscious awareness, creating the perfect pathway to your manifestation. Your subconscious exists beyond the limitations of space and time as we normally experience them. It operates in what quantum physicists call non-local consciousness, where information isn't bound by the usual constraints of physical reality. This understanding transforms how you relate to the seemingly random impressions and impulses that arise during your manifestation journey. Rather than dismissing them as imagination or coincidence, you begin to recognize them as valuable guidance from your deeper self, the part of you that already knows the perfect path to your lottery win. Now, I want to go even deeper into a critical decision point that determines whether your manifestation completes successfully or gets derailed mid-journey. When these bridge incidents begin occurring, when you start receiving these intuitive impulses and synchronistic events, the essential step is to follow them without questioning or analyzing. This requires a profound trust in the process and a willingness to suspend the analytical mind's need to understand everything before acting. Your conscious mind has extremely limited access to the vast information your subconscious is processing. It's like comparing a flashlight to the sun. Your conscious awareness illuminates only a tiny fraction of the total information available to your complete consciousness. When you try to analyze these intuitive impulses through the limited lens of your rational mind, you often introduce doubt and contradiction that can derail your entire manifestation process. The breakthrough in your manifestation journey comes when you develop the ability to follow these intuitive nudges without needing to understand the why or how. When you feel drawn to buy a ticket at a specific location, you simply do it without questioning. When certain numbers feel significant, you use them without analyzing. When an unexpected conversation provides guidance, you follow it without doubting. This receptive state, being open to guidance without demanding logical explanation, creates a clear channel for your manifestation to unfold perfectly. Think of it like a radio receiver. The clearer the channel, the more precise the broadcast you receive. Each time you question or analyze these impulses, you're introducing static that distorts the signal. The remarkable discovery in this process is that your subconscious mind has already mapped out the perfect path to your manifestation. It knows which store will have your winning ticket. It knows which numbers will align with the drawing. It knows exactly when you should take action. Your only job is to follow its guidance without interference from your analytical mind. If this concept of trusting your intuitive guidance is resonating with you, write in the comments, "I follow my inner wisdom," and share one intuitive impulse you've received, but perhaps didn't follow because you talked yourself out of it. Let me reveal one of the most dangerous traps that derails manifestation just as it's about to complete. A mistake so common that it accounts for nearly 90% of all failed manifestations. Here's the revelation that could save your journey. The most perilous moment. in the entire manifestation process occurs when evidence of your desire begins appearing in your life. This is precisely when most practitioners begin doubting their experience, unwittingly sabotaging their manifestation at the crucial threshold of completion. When those bridge incidents start appearing, when you find that perfect lottery ticket or dream about specific numbers, the mind often reacts with thoughts like, "This is too good to be true," or "This can't possibly work for me." These seemingly innocent doubts actually create powerful counter-assumptions that neutralize your original manifestation. It's like planting a seed, watching it sprout, and then immediately pulling it out of the ground to see if it's really growing. The breakthrough insight is that when bridge incidents appear, the correct response isn't analysis or skepticism, but celebration and gratitude. These initial signs aren't coincidences to be questioned, but confirmation that your consciousness shift has reached critical mass and is now organizing physical reality to match your internal state. Questioning them introduces contradiction that can collapse the entire manifestation process just before completion. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding the power of persistence through apparent failure by sharing Robert's extraordinary journey to a $47 million lottery win. His story demonstrates perhaps the most crucial principle of successful manifestation, the unwavering maintenance of your internal state, regardless of external circumstances. Robert discovered Joseph Murphy's assumption technique during one of the most challenging periods of his life. He had lost his job, his savings were depleted, and he was facing foreclosure on his home. Most people would find it impossible to maintain wealth consciousness in such circumstances. But Robert recognized a profound truth: that external conditions are the effect, not the cause, of your inner state. For 6 full months, Robert applied the assumption technique while his external circumstances continued to deteriorate. Bills piled up, creditors called, and the date of his home foreclosure approached. Yet throughout this apparent failure, he maintained his internal wealthy identity with remarkable persistence. He didn't allow his external reality to dictate his internal state, but held firm to the consciousness of someone who had already won. The night before he was scheduled to lose his house, Robert called his mentor in what anyone else would consider a moment of crisis. But instead of panicking, he made a statement that reveals the essence of successful manifestation. "I know this sounds crazy, but despite everything happening around me, I still feel like a millionaire inside. I can't shake the absolute certainty that I am wealthy, even as I'm about to become homeless." The very next morning, Robert purchased a lottery ticket, not from desperation, but from that unwavering inner certainty. That night, he won $47 million, transforming his external circumstances in an instant to match what had become his dominant internal state. The revelation in Robert's journey isn't just the win itself, but the demonstration that persistence through apparent failure is often the final test before manifestation completes. The universe seems to ask, will you maintain your assumption even when all external evidence contradicts it? Those who answer yes with their unwavering consciousness are the ones who experience seemingly miraculous manifestations. If this perspective on persistence through challenges resonates with you, write in the comments, "External circumstances don't dictate my internal state," and share one situation where you're currently being tested to maintain your positive consciousness despite challenging circumstances. Now, let me share with you the exact nightly practice that Joseph Murphy found to be the most powerful for impressing your desired reality upon your subconscious mind. This specific technique has been responsible for more successful manifestations than any other approach, because it leverages the natural architecture of consciousness during its most receptive state. The most effective practice begins by building your scene of having already won, The bank scene or family call we discussed earlier. As you lie in bed preparing for sleep, close your eyes and enter this scene as if it were happening right now. Experience it as completely real. See the details through your own eyes, hear the sounds, feel the emotions, notice the textures and sensations in your body. The key is making this inner experience so vivid that your nervous system responds as if it's actually happening. Once you've constructed the scene with full sensory richness, repeat it continuously as you fall asleep. Don't just do it once and then drift off, thinking about your day or worrying about tomorrow. Return to the scene again and again, letting it be the last impression in your consciousness before sleep claims you. The twilight state between wakefulness and sleep, those drowsy moments when your conscious mind begins to fade, provides privileged access to your subconscious mind. During this liminal period, the critical faculty is temporarily suspended, allowing new impressions to enter without resistance. The journey continues immediately upon awakening the next morning. Before opening your eyes, before checking your phone, before engaging with the external world in any way, return to your scene. Spend those first conscious moments reimagining yourself in that reality where your lottery win has already manifested. This morning practice is crucial because your consciousness is still in that receptive state between sleeping and full wakefulness, creating another powerful opportunity for impressing your subconscious. The transformation occurs when you turn this practice into a disciplined ritual, performed with unwavering consistency night after night, morning after morning. Your subconscious responds to repetition and emotional intensity, gradually accepting your imagined reality as your actual experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into the universal application of these principles beyond lottery manifestation. While we've focused on winning the lottery as our example, the underlying mechanics apply to every area of life where you desire transformation or expansion. The fundamental truth that consciousness creates reality and assumptions determine experience, works universally across relationships, health, career, creative expression, and spiritual development. The revelation is that every aspect of your life is shaped by the same principles we've explored. Your relationship experiences reflect your assumptions about love and connection. Your health manifests according to your deepest beliefs about your body. Your career unfolds based on your self-concept as it relates to value and contribution. Nothing is exempt from this law of consciousness. With this awakening comes a profound responsibility. Once you prove to yourself that consciousness creates reality, you can never again blame external circumstances for your experience. You become accountable for every aspect of your life, not in a burdensome way, but in a way that grants you unprecedented freedom and creative power. If these universal principles are creating a paradigm shift in your understanding, write in the comments, "Consciousness creates everything," and share. An area beyond financial abundance where you're ready to apply these manifestation principles. As we come to this point in our journey together, I hope you're beginning to recognize the tremendous power that's been within you all along. The principles Joseph Murphy discovered aren't just theories or wishful thinking, they're the fundamental operating system of reality itself. And now that you understand how to access this power deliberately, your life will never be the same. What's most beautiful about this process is that it's available to anyone willing to put these principles into practice. The universe doesn't play favorites, it simply responds to the state of consciousness you consistently maintain. Your transformed awareness becomes the magnet that draws your desires into physical expression. If something in this message resonated deeply with you today, if you felt that inner recognition that says, "This is my truth," I'd love for you to write, "My consciousness creates my reality," in the comments below. I personally read every comment and am always moved by the profound shifts people experience when applying these principles. If you found value in these revelations, A simple like on this video helps others discover these transformative insights as well. The ripple effect of one person understanding these principles extends far beyond what we can imagine. For those ready to go even deeper into these manifestation principles, I've created a video that reveals the exact mental technique Joseph Murphy used to manifest perfect health after doctors had given him just months to live. It's the perfect complement to what you've learned today. Click right here and let's continue this journey of discovery together. The transformation you seek is already underway.